The cabin is filled with uneasy silence, broken only by the low hum of engines as the passenger plane cuts through thick clouds high above an endless jungle, a sea of dark green stretching to the horizon with no sign of civilization below. Suddenly, the calm shatters as violent turbulence slams the aircraft, throwing passengers against their seats while warning alarms erupt from the cockpit. Overhead bins burst open, oxygen masks drop, and screams echo through the cabin as the plane lurches downward. The captain's voice crackles over the intercom, strained and panicked, announcing a critical failure. But his words are swallowed by a deafening roar as the aircraft plunges toward the jungle. Through the windows, flashes of lightning reveal towering trees rushing up at terrifying speed. And in the final seconds before impact, time seems to slow, fear freezing every face. The crash comes with an explosion of sound and force as metal tears through branches, the fuselage breaking apart, the world dissolving into darkness, fire, and silence. Hours earlier, the same flight felt ordinary, almost boring, filled with tired travelers, families returning home, business passengers half asleep, and a crew focused on completing another routine journey. The jungle below was little more than a blur on a screen, an unnamed region known only to pilots as a dangerous stretch of airspace, notorious for sudden storms and unpredictable weather. Whispers among the crew spoke of strange radar interference in this area, instruments flickering without explanation. But those stories were brushed aside as superstition. As the plane entered thicker cloud cover, turbulence began without warning, growing steadily worse as storm systems formed too fast to track. The co-pilot noticed something unsettling on the radar, a massive moving shape below the clouds that vanished as quickly as it appeared. Moments before, the systems failed and the aircraft lost control. When consciousness returns after the crash, survivors awaken to pain, smoke, and the suffocating heat of the jungle. Broken bodies lie among twisted metal, fire smoldering in the wreckage as towering trees loom overhead like prison walls. Those who can move stumble out, injured and bleeding, calling for loved ones who will never answer. The jungle presses in from all sides, thick vines, buzzing insects, and an overwhelming sense of isolation. Phones show no signal, radios are dead, and the wreckage is scattered across a wide area, making it impossible to know who survived and who didn't. Panic sets in as survivors realize rescue may take days or never come at all. As they gather what supplies they can from the wreckage, strange sounds drift through the trees, low vibrations felt more than heard, followed by a deep, unsettling hiss that seems to circle them. Some dismiss it as imagination, but others notice the forest growing unnaturally quiet, as if every creature is holding its breath. When night falls, darkness swallows the jungle completely, broken only by the flicker of firelight from burning debris. The heat doesn't fade, the air thick and heavy, filled with the constant drone of insects and distant, unknown calls echoing through the trees. Sleep becomes impossible as fear crawls through every mind. The first disappearance happens quietly. One survivor steps away from the camp to relieve himself and never returns. There is no scream, no struggle, only silence. When the group searches, they find crushed plants, deep grooves in the mud, and massive tracks leading into the darkness, far larger than any snake they have ever seen. That is when the truth becomes impossible to deny. They are not just stranded in a jungle. They are being hunted. The attacks come suddenly and brutally. Giant snakes, larger than vehicles, move with terrifying speed and silence, striking from trees, water, and thick undergrowth. One survivor is grabbed and dragged screaming into the darkness, their cries cut short as massive coils crush the life from them. Another is taken while crossing a shallow river, the water exploding as a monstrous body rises beneath the surface. Panic spreads as survivors scatter, making fatal mistakes driven by fear. Fire becomes their only defense, its light forcing the creatures to retreat temporarily. But it also marks their location, drawing danger closer. As days pass, exhaustion and injuries weaken the group. Food ruins low wounds become infected, and the constant fear erodes their sanity. Some begin to hallucinate, seeing movement where there is none, hearing voices calling from the trees. Trust breaks down as arguments erupt over supplies and decisions, each choice feeling like a gamble with death. The jungle itself turns hostile, with venomous insects, poisonous plants, and sudden storms flooding the forest floor, washing away tracks and hope alike. Desperate to escape, the remaining survivors attempt to follow a river, believing it may lead to civilization. Instead, it becomes another nightmare as the snakes hunt beneath the water, their massive forms gliding silently just below the surface. One survivor sacrifices themselves to distract a pursuing creature, giving the others a chance to flee, their final screams echoing through the trees long after they are gone. The loss leaves the group shattered, but moving forward is the only option. The final confrontation comes as the survivors reach a clearing, only to realize they are surrounded. From the shadows emerges the largest snake yet, a colossal predator that has likely ruled this jungle for centuries. It coils around trees with ease, eyes reflecting firelight as it prepares to strike. With nothing left to lose, the survivors use everything they have: fire, sharp, metal, and sheer desperation, battling the creature in a fight that feels hopeless from the start. Injuries mount, screams fill the night, and survival hangs by a thread as the jungle watches silently. When dawn finally breaks, the forest is eerily calm. Smoke rises from the wreckage of the battle, bodies lie still, and the survivors who remain are barely alive, broken but breathing. In the distance, the sound of helicopters cuts through the silence, or perhaps it is only another cruel illusion of hope. The jungle slowly reclaims the crash site, vines creeping over twisted metal, erasing evidence of what happened. The story ends with a chilling truth. In the deadliest jungle on Earth, surviving the crash was only the beginning, and deep within the trees, something massive still moves, waiting patiently for the next intruders.